So we've all been here. Come on. Come on. We've all done this before. That's frustrating. Can we save it? Can we make that old crummy pear cut like a good pear? Of course we can. So within the last week or so, I picked up a old toolbox, and it had about a dozen sets of old Tim snips, and every single one feels like a butter knife. So how do I go about sharpening them? And mine have been a couple years since I've sharpened them, but how do I go about making these work like new? It's actually easier than you think. Here's just a basic set of tin snips. All I actually use is, this is just a 60 grit flapper wheel. And you just touch the flapper disc along this edge and this edge. You don't touch these surfaces at all. You don't need to. So we just take our 60 grit flapper disc. I just brought it down so there's a nice solid edge right there. Some of them are tapered back a little bit more, like this, slanted back a little bit more. Some of these other sets, but there's still a flat wall on there. This one's actually not too bad. Some of these are really dull, but now that should be razor sharp, and that should cut 1,000. Yeah. So the other one to do is this style of snip. And this style of snip, you have to actually, this is a compound snip, a tin snip, aviation snip. You actually have to take out the bolt. They don't open up far enough. And then you can flop them open. And this one actually has some grooves already built in it. These are whisk snips. Some of my favorite snips out there, these whisk snips. They come in, you know, left hand straight, right hand. They come in a million different patterns. But these are the same way. That one's nice and dull. And that's another thing, is make sure that the nuts on these are tight to the point that you don't really want it to stick, but you want it to give resistance so those don't want to push apart. That actually feels better. This one. So this set is a set that has been well used. So now we'll come in here. Let's just grab a little teeny edge. Look at that. A dull set would just fold that right over. That just cuts me off a nice sliver. Nice and sharp. Nice USA set. Can last another 30 years. There you go. If you have a pair of tin snips, try it out. You'll be amazed at how well they work. Fight the urge. Do not touch these two flat surfaces that actually mate together. You'll ruin them. You'll never have a good set again. Just touch those two surfaces that I showed you. And this is the same way you would actually sharpen a pair of scissors. If you got a nice pair of scissors you want to sharpen, you just run it down both those surfaces. These are too hard to actually use a file or something. Scissors, you could probably actually run a file down. But the sanding disc, flapper disc, I've used just grinding discs. Those work as well. A little bit coarser, but they work just as well as this. I like the finish that this gives. So off to sharpening all the rest. I'll put a link below if you guys have never used a pair of these compound whisk snips. My favorites. I'll put a link below where you can actually get a new set. I believe they're still made in the USA as well. I could be wrong, but these sets are anyway, and these are kind of older. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys soon. Bye.